For most of Evan Mobley's second season, fans and media had looked at his play as disappointing. He hasn't played poorly by any means, however, he hadn't taken the leap many expected of him. He's been phenomenal defensively, and no one can deny that, but where people hoped to see improvement was on the offensive end. It seemed like Mobley was falling into the same disappointing season as his draft mates. Scottie Barnes hasn't taken the leap many expected after winning Rookie of the Year, and Cade Cunningham has missed most of the season due to injury, but does have some legitimate shooting concerns when on the floor. However, Mobley is starting to show signs of undergoing an offensive evolution. He went from averaging just over 14 points per game over the first 3 months to over 18 points per game since January 1st. His percentages have stayed roughly the same, but for the first time, we're seeing Mobley show signs of aggression on the offensive end. He's shooting 3 more shots per game since we hit January 1st, and has clearly taken notice of what the coaching staff and fans have been asking of him. We've seen the skill he has on that end of the floor, it's just a matter of playing with aggression to get your own bucket on that end. He's been compared to NBA greats like Bosh and Kevin Garnett, but if he wants to reach those levels, he has to take a leap as a scorer. He's taking steps in the right direction. To truly understand how crucial the steps Mobley has taken are, and how good he can become, let's take a look at his young career and season so far. Before we get into the offensive evolution of Evan Mobley, if you enjoy my content and have watched a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watched me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. Evan Mobley was selected with the 3rd overall pick in the 2021 NBA Draft out of USC, going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was viewed as having a chance to be a generational big man, at 7 feet tall, 215 pounds, and possessing a 7'4" wingspan. He had huge potential as a two-way talent with elite defensive ability to both lock down smaller players on switches on the perimeter, as well as his natural rim protection ability with long arms and tremendous leaping ability. He was arguably the most exciting, talented big man prospect since Anthony Davis in 2012 or Towns in 2015. He garnered comparisons to Bosh, Pau Gasol, and Kevin Garnett, who are all Hall of Famers. So it's fair to say expectations of him were high. So how did he fare as a rookie? Honestly, really well. He put up 15 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks per game. He was the well-rounded player that many expected, and if he didn't get injured, there's a good chance the Cavs would have shocked everyone and made the playoffs, which would have been way ahead of schedule. He ended up finishing 2nd in Rookie of the Year voting behind Scottie Barnes in what was an extremely close race. The final tally was 378 points for Barnes and 363 for Mobley. Although he didn't win Rookie of the Year, he established himself as a player with a very bright future. I'd say he was a little better as a scorer than people expected and didn't look scared out there at all. He was switchable 1 through 5, and it completely revolutionized the Cavs' defense, helping to make them one of the East's better teams when healthy. Despite being ravaged by the injury bug to close the season, both the team and Mobley overachieved, and it made the future seem very bright. The Cavs must have recognized the talent they had on the roster, as they made a trade with the hopes of launching into contender status. In the 2022 offseason, the Cavs traded former lottery pick Colin Sexton, now All-Star Lauri Markkanen, and some other pieces in exchange for Donovan Mitchell, a playoff-tested star and one of the NBA's best young guards. It placed a whole new level of expectations on both the team and on Mobley to take a jump in order to help them compete. The team has lived up to expectations, being the East's 4 seed for most of the year and making the playoffs without LeBron for the first time since 1998, before some of the team's most important players were even born. However, they've been put under more media attention, which led to a lot of scrutiny on their young big man. Over the first 3 months of the season, Evan Mobley stagnated, and his production remained at a similar level to his rookie season, if not slightly worse. From October through December, he averaged 14.5 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 block per game. The only thing with real improvement was his rebounding, which won't exactly get a ton of media coverage. I wouldn't say people expected Mobley to be an all-star in year 2, but I do think they expected his scoring and shot attempts to take a rise. However, over the first 3 months, they hadn't. He was berated over social media. No sensible people called him a bust or anything. However, there were many claiming he was having a sophomore slump, that he was disappointing, that he could never live up to his projections, or even be more than a complimentary offensive player. Honestly, I think his performance over that time is overblown and too scrutinized. He was playing alongside a true star for the first time, no offense to Garland, but Donovan Mitchell is at a different level. He had to adjust to playing alongside him, and I think that's starting to show as of late. Mobley has been a different player since we hit January 1st, and is starting to undergo an offensive evolution. Since we hit the new year, Mobley has averaged 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks per game. He's picked up his blocks again and looks more confident on the defensive end than the first half of the year. But the important part is the offensive end. He's still shooting about 56% from the field, but his attempts per game have risen from 10.5 to 13.5. He's shown an aggression that we haven't seen from him before, and is looking for his own shot more than ever before. He's shown a level of shot creation that many didn't expect from him. For the season, he's taken 139 catch-and-shoot jumpers outside of 10 feet, compared to 108 pull-up jumpers outside of 10. He struggled on the catch-and-shoot, going only 26%. However, he's been much better when creating his own shot, with the rate on pull-up jumpers being 41%. He's obviously still most efficient within 10 feet, shooting 64% on over 600 attempts. He's showing a willingness to branch out his offensive game to more than just at the rim finishing, and while the catch and shoot obviously needs work, the self-creation aspect of the pull-up jumpers is very interesting. He's been most efficient from the field when taking 0 dribbles at 60%, as you'd expect. However, what's really surprising is that he's second most efficient when taking 7 or more dribbles, shooting 58% on shots stemming from those. As far as being defended goes, he's most efficient with a defender between 2 and 4 feet of him, because most of his work comes at the rim. However, he's least efficient when left wide open, which is 6+ feet, at only 32%. He has 18 games with at least 20 points this season, and 11 of them have come since we hit January 1st. Even more extreme is that he has had 5 in the past month. He's clearly taking a step offensively, and as you can see by the shot chart data I just listed, he's sneakily been showing good signs all year. Evan Mobley was great as a rookie, putting up 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game, and finishing as a close second for Rookie of the Year. Expectations of him were high for year 2, especially after the addition of star Donovan Mitchell. However, for the first 3 months of the season, his play stagnated. It was very similar to his rookie year, and people were proclaiming that he would never take the offensive leap, and that his sophomore season was disappointing. However, since January 1st, we've seen a different version, with Mobley putting up 18, 9, and 2. He's had 5 20-point games over the past month and is taking 3 shots more per game since we hit the new year. He's been more aggressive and shown more signs of personal creation, which many didn't expect from him. He had lofty comparisons coming in to guys like Garnett, Pau Gasol, and Bosh. He's not near that level yet, but if his offensive game continues to develop, he can genuinely become a Hall of Fame player just like them. His defense is already elite. If he can develop into like a 23-11 guy, he'll be unbelievably valuable and impactful with all the things he brings. He was even mentioned as a potential All-NBA guy in Bill Simmons' pod this week. He won't end up making it, but for him to even be worth bringing up shows how impactful he already is. Evan Mobley is an emerging star and is going through an offensive evolution. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.